Welcome back. It's Bree with Bree Beers and Associates. So when you own a business, you get to take a deduction for the business use of your vehicle. Today, we're going to talk about what that means and what constitutes business mileage. Before we talk about the specifics of your business mileage tax deduction, I want to back up and just talk about what a tax deduction actually is and what it means to you as a business owner. A lot of times you hear the words tax deduction and business expense and you feel like you're expected to know exactly what that means. But you don't always know that, right? So let's start there. So when you're self-employed, you have your business income or your business revenue. So this is all of the money your business is bringing in. So it's the money you receive for providing your services and or your goods to your customers, and it's the money they give you in exchange for those goods and services. When you're self-employed, you get to deduct the expenses you spend money on in your business to run your business. You get to deduct those from your revenue, and that's where we get your taxable income. So as you spend more money in your business, you reduce your taxable income. As you reduce your taxable income, that means you're gonna pay less taxes when all is said and done and you file your tax return. So let's use an example. Let's say you made $1,000 in your business, all right? But you spent $200 to run your business. Maybe you did some marketing, maybe that's the cost to produce the goods you provided. Then your $1,000 of revenue less your $200 in expenses gives you $800, and that is going to be your taxable income from your business. Now that we hopefully have a little bit better of an idea of what a tax deduction is or a business expense, now let's talk specifically about your business use of your vehicle and that expense that's wrapped into that. So in a later YouTube video, I'm going to talk about tracking your mileage and taking the actual versus the standard deduction. What does that mean? But you've got to walk before you can run. And so today we're just going to talk about defining what business mileage actually is. So the IRS classifies business mileage as miles driven between workplaces. So what does this mean? So business miles are the miles driven between your main workplace and any other location that you might have to conduct business. So the main thing we think about in this, right, is when you have to drive to a client's workplace, right? So whether maybe you're a bookkeeper and you do on-site bookkeeping for a client, or you're a photographer and you're going to go to a shoot site to do photos for one of your clients. The driving from your main place of business to those locations, that's your business mileage. Other types of examples that we don't normally think about could include maybe driving from your main place of business to the post office because you have to mail off something to a client. That counts as business mileage. It could also be running to the store to buy supplies for whatever it is you need to make or supply to your clients. All right, so different ways that we can actually build or accrue that business mileage to get that tax deduction. So it's not just driving directly from your main workplace to somewhere else. It also can include driving from location to location. Back to my photographer. If you have 3 shoots in a row in 3 different locations, your mileage from point A to point B and then point B to point C, all business mileage. It could also be possibly making a stop on your way home for business purposes. So let's say I'm leaving the office to go home, but I have to go to the post office first. Okay, my business, the mileage that I drive from my office to the post office, even though it's on my way home, is still business mileage because I'm driving that distance for a business purpose. The one thing business mileage does not include, it specifically does not include, is commuting miles. So if you have a home office, this doesn't apply to you because you don't commute to your office, it's in your house. But if you're like me and you have an office outside of your home that you commute to work, this is my office here, it's not in my house. My miles from my house to my place of business, to my office, those are not deductible. Those are commuter miles. However, we go back to once I'm here, any driving I do for business purposes is business mileage. And we go back to when you make a business stop, possibly on your way home, that part of your commute technically ends up being business mileage. So there's ways to, you're not working the system, guys. These are all legal business miles you're calculating. You're just planning a little bit in order to maximize the business deduction you get for the driving you're doing. So I hope this video gave you a solid understanding of what business mileage is. So now you know what you're supposed to be tracking. The next step is to actually start that tracking. And that's what my next video is gonna cover. But if you wanna get a head start on that, go ahead and download my free business mileage tracker, and the link is in the description. If you guys have any questions about what we talked about today, go ahead and leave a comment below. And then I highly suggest you head on over to our Facebook community, Money, Taxes, and Finance for Small Business, because these topics are what we talk about on a regular basis and have live trainings on every week. You can access that group by clicking the link in the description box. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and while you're loving on me hard, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you never miss a future video.